We are kicking off with Monday Night Raw as Cody Rhodes continued his road to WrestleMania 40 during last night's show, but the Bloodline are doing all they can to make his journey a difficult one. Cody Rhodes was scheduled to battle his past ally and the man who claimed that he saved the People's WrestleMania this year, Drew McIntyre, in an epic battle of former tag team champions. Rhodes showed great intensity, firing up at one point and demanding McIntyre bring the fight to him, and McIntyre was more than ready to answer that challenge. The Honda Center erupted in "This is awesome" chants, but when Cody was looking to put McIntyre away for good, Jimmy Uso came out to try and distract him. Cody evaded this attempt, and while the official was trying to eject Jimmy from the premises, Solo Sikoa appeared on the other side in a black hood and planted a Samoan spike. This attack was similar to what happened at WrestleMania 39 and reminded fans that all it takes is one move to cost Rhodes everything. McIntyre appeared conflicted as he watched the Bloodline interfere on his behalf, remembering that his bitterness against the group that goes back all the way to Clash at the Castle in September of 2022. Nevertheless, the interference gave Drew McIntyre the opening he needed to connect with a thunderous Claymore kick and pin Cody's shoulders to the mat for the win. This was a huge loss, as the last time he was pinned in a singles match on WWE TV was on the April 28, 2016 episode of Smackdown, when Stardust was defeated by Apollo Crews. The great action and advanced stories helped elevate the Open to the show, with all involved delivering, and most importantly, it made sense within the confines of all that we already know. From the stare down at the start of the match to the lighting, camera work, and red-hot crowd, this felt like a premium live event match from the start. Cody Rhodes has been on a huge roll as of late, and many fans expect him to win at WrestleMania, but as this week's Raw proved, there's still a lot that can go wrong for the American Nightmare. But what did you think of this match? Was having Cody lose to McIntyre the right call? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. So Cody has lost his first WWE TV singles match since returning to WWE, but why exactly did the company hand this defeat to one of their most popular superstars? Well, one reason may be that this won't be the last time these two face off, and that a loss to McIntyre gives Cody the incentive to want a rematch against the Scottish Warrior. After all, Rhodes' loss was far from clean, and a rematch with his former ally could easily be a built-up angle and give Cody an important match ahead of his big plans at WrestleMania 40. McIntyre defeating the American Nightmare is certainly a big win for the Scotsman, who has been in need of a big win as of late. 2023 saw McIntyre repeatedly fail to capture the World Heavyweight Championship, with these losses hurting his credibility, so a win over Cody will help Drew look strong again. McIntyre is a favorite to win this week's Men's Elimination Chamber match, which would put him back in the title picture, and Triple H may not have booked his win on Raw if he were to lose in Perth. This is a huge win for McIntyre, but in all likelihood, it may not be his biggest win this week, as a win down under would give Drew another shot at getting his coveted world title win in front of fans. This match on Raw also serves as a reminder that Cody Rhodes has always been at a numbers disadvantage against the Bloodline, which was also proven at WrestleMania 39. The interference angle was most likely done to build Cody's feud with the top faction, especially as the American Nightmare was seen interacting with Seth Rollins backstage after the loss. The World Heavyweight Champion said nothing, but it was clear that he was reminding Rhodes that they have to stick together against the Bloodline. Rollins has vowed to be a shield for Rhodes ahead of his match with the Bloodline, and with this loss thanks to interference, expect Cody to gather some backup of his own en route to Philly. Despite his injury, CM Punk has appeared on WWE programming this month. He's also been backstage at several shows, with tonight's episode of Raw being one of them. While he didn't appear on television, Punk came out after the show went off the air. Jey Uso was in the ring, still reeling from the attack by his brother Jimmy, when Cody Rhodes appeared and brought out the straight-edge superstar. CM Punk cut a heartfelt promo for the fans in Anaheim, who witnessed a strong show and praised them for staying hot all night. The former WWE champion ensured he would be back in action by the next time Raw was in the city. He said, "It's not easy sitting backstage watching the show, knowing that Anaheim showed up 11,000 strong, and y'all kept it hot all night long. 3 hours, countless superstars, awesome matches. I had to come out here and feel this myself, and to let you all know, this is a bump in the road, and I promise you that the next time we're in Anaheim, I'll be here, and I'll have my boots on." It'll be interesting to see if WWE will give Punk a role at WrestleMania 40. He won't wrestle due to his injury, but the former AEW star could still play a pivotal role at the show of shows. He could be the host of Mania and progress his ongoing issues with Seth Rollins and especially Drew McIntyre. Will CM Punk appear at WrestleMania 40? Leave your predictions in the comments section below. Raw also saw the WWE Intercontinental Championship on the line as Gunther defended against Jey Uso in the latter's first shot at the title in his near 14-year run on the roster. Gunther displayed his in-ring dominance to put down the leader of the Yeet movement, while Uso fought the record-breaking champion with everything in his arsenal and came close multiple times. As the match approached its end, Uso delivered 5 spears on Gunther and connected with the Uso splash, and as fans grew in noise, there was a genuine feeling that this would be the night. As Jey closed in for the win, his brother Jimmy Uso caused a timely distraction by appearing ringside and ringing the bell continuously to put his brother off his game. The entire chaos gave Gunther enough time to regroup and capitalize to score the win and retain his title, earning another record for his impressive career. By lasting the night as champion, Gunther has now held the title for 620 days, breaking Pedro Morales' record for the most collective days as Intercontinental Champion. The fact that Gunther has done this over one reign as opposed to Morales' 2 is all the more impressive, but it comes at the expense of Jey Uso. The match ending saw Jimmy Uso viciously attacking his brother and costing him yet another championship opportunity after doing so last year at WWE SummerSlam. One has to think that Jimmy vs. Jey is the plan for WrestleMania 40, and what did you make of this finish? Should Jey have won the IC title? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. We've got news about Gunther now, who isn't set to compete in Australia this Sunday and could be missing some other important events if things continue as they are. Gunther has not been scheduled for any matches outside the United States recently because he cannot leave the USA for 6 months thanks to strict residence regulations. Now it looks like these regulations will cost Gunther in a huge way, as WWE announced their return to the Ring General's native Austria for a show in May of this year. This will mark WWE's first event in Austria since 2019, but as fans noticed, Gunther was not among the throng of talent featured on the promotional image for the show. Instead, the announcement mentioned Cody Rhodes, Bianca Belair, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, Io Sky, LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, Jey Uso, and others for the anticipated live event. If Gunther is to miss this May 2nd show, odds are that he'll miss the Backlash France show on May 4th, and there is some irony to the dominant European not being allowed to compete in Europe. While WWE could announce Gunther for the Austria show, it'd be strange not to feature him front and center on promotional material, as fans in Vienna may have to go without Der Ring General. This past weekend, The Rock came to Daytona Beach to host the namesake iconic race as the official Grand Marshal and brought a touch of WWE to the iconic NASCAR milestone. Unfortunately, bad weather conditions forced the race to be postponed to the following Monday, with The Rock still on board for his hosting duties, but that didn't stop the People's Champion. In a video posted on NASCAR's official Instagram, the Great One proudly introduced to the racing fans in attendance for the Daytona 500 before using one of his iconic WWE catchphrases. The Rock told the drivers that finally, it was time to start their engines in a huge moment that got a loud reaction from the crowd in attendance. The Great One may be a heel on WWE TV, but he certainly still has a deep connection with the people, which made for an exciting start to the Daytona 500 this week. On last week's Smackdown, The Rock confirmed his heel turn with a flurry of insults at the crowd before it was made clear that he is officially part of the Bloodline. This segment has proven to be a hit with fans and racked up serious numbers on WWE's various social media platforms, and had some of WWE's top names operating behind the scenes. Ringside News reports that the brains behind The Rock's scintillating promo segment included Triple H, Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, The Rock himself, Brian Gewirtz, and Michael Hayes. With such great minds for wrestling and storytelling pulling the strings, it's no wonder the segment was a hit, and fans can look forward to more of those as we get closer to WrestleMania 40. Now integrated into the Bloodline, The Rock's involvement adds an element of unpredictability as we get closer to Philadelphia, and WWE is using all the resources they can for his segments. More from Raw, which saw the 6th and final participant in the Women's Elimination Chamber match determined in a Battle Royal, which saw plenty of action involved. Raquel Rodriguez made her return to the ring in the match to cash her ticket to Perth, Australia, and was able to overcome the united front of Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. Baszler and Stark impressed as a team, making their definitive losses in qualifiers that much more confusing, and this latest loss will do the pair no favors. SmackDown's Zelina Vega were massively over with the crowd, who were furious when she was eliminated by Elektra Lopez. Valhalla eliminated Maxine Dupree to continue their story, and Chelsea Green was her hilarious self as she hid under the ring and attempted a sneak attack on Rodriguez, which failed miserably. Green was subsequently eliminated from this fun battle royal with a handful of stories, and while Raquel is going to Perth, she's hardly the most interesting choice. Comeback or no, she stands no chance Saturday, where Becky Lynch should still be considered the overwhelming favorite to leave with a guaranteed title shot at WrestleMania 40. Ahead of their Women's World Championship match at Elimination Chamber, Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax conducted a short sit-down interview that accomplished nothing. The pair delivered very little new material though, in a disappointing final build for the most hyped match on Saturday's card. From there, Jackie Redmond threw to a pre-taped interview she conducted with R-Truth earlier in the day. More hilarity ensued as Truth expressed his disappointment in the dismantling of his relationship with the Judgment Day, then wandered aimlessly in a blue poncho. Becky Lynch was in the ring for her go-home promo segment ahead of Saturday's Women's Elimination Chamber match and reiterated her need to win a shot at the Women's World title. This brought out Liv Morgan, who reminded Lynch and the fans of her quest for revenge against Rhea Ripley and pointed out that she's the last superstar to pin Ripley one-on-one. Raquel Rodriguez, Naomi, and Tiffany Stratton all followed suit, taking shots at their opponents before Bianca Belair blew the roof off the Honda Center. Before a brawl between the six women could break out, Nia Jax appeared and proceeded to lay out each one of them before standing tall ahead of her title match with Ripley in Perth. This was an emphatic response to Ripley's claims that she was simply not good enough to beat her, and this was an interesting booking call, as Jax's unstoppable presence came at the expense of six women. Of these six women, one will hope to challenge for the Women's World title at WrestleMania, a title Jax hopes to hold very soon, and there's an argument that the Chamber combatants should have been protected. Does it really hurt any of the Chamber competitors? No, but in what universe did Jax have to wipe out the entire field by herself ahead of a title match she's almost guaranteed to lose? Before the tag match pitting DIY and Awesome Truth against the Judgment Day, UFC's Michael Chandler called out Conor McGregor, using WWE's platforms to bring eyes to the MMA world. This is hardly a bad idea considering that both companies fall under the TKO umbrella, but it was the action in the ring that fans really came to see. For a moment it appeared as though R-Truth would gain a measure of revenge on Damian Priest in the Judgment Day as he exploded into the match late and took the fight to Priest. The hot tag to Truth ignited the crowd and resulted in a hell of a pop, then Truth once again used the moves of his childhood hero John Cena in a hilarious commitment to the bit. While Truth was taking it to Priest, DIY's Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano and The Miz battled Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and Dominic Mysterio at ringside. When Ciampa and Balor collided, Pat McAfee said that 16 abs just ran into each other in the middle of the ring, in a fun line, and that wasn't the only showcase for the Blackheart. Ciampa ran off the ropes into and out of the corners for what felt like an eternity, earning the respect of the fans who appreciated his cardio. We mentioned that Truth used John Cena's moves, but it was an ill-fated attempt at the attitude adjustment that was countered though, and Priest delivered South of Heaven for the pinfall win. This was a high-energy 8-man tag that highlighted Ciampa nicely, but was ultimately all about Truth and his quest for vengeance against the Judgment Day. He didn't receive it on this night thanks to an alert Priest, but all signs point to Truth and Judgment Day mixing it up again shortly, perhaps as soon as WrestleMania 40. We've got an update in the Vince McMahon scandal now, as Janelle Grant's lawsuit led to the former chairman's resignation, but it's believed she is not the only woman who may file a claim. Grant's lawyer Ann Callis said that she and her client hope that this lawsuit encourages more women wronged by McMahon to come forward, and now a Chicago law firm is seeking clients. Pintas and Mullins is actively seeking victims related to allegations against Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and WWE, and have launched the website WWEsettlements.com. This site features a contact form for individuals who may have experienced sexual assault, made to feel uncomfortable, or witnessed abuse by Vince McMahon or anyone from WWE, UFC. A statement on the website highlights previous accusations, including Rita Chatterton, who alleged rape by Vince McMahon while traveling with him in his limousine, as well as the 2022 payouts. The law firm emphasizes its commitment to assisting abuse victims, encouraging them to fill out the provided form or call for a confidential and free consultation with one of their female attorneys. Vince McMahon has no route back to WWE following his resignation over the trafficking lawsuit, and will keep following this case to see if more women do indeed come forward against the billionaire. During last year's draft, it was announced that MVP had negotiated for Omos to be a free agent able to appear on Raw or Smackdown, with the Nigerian giant being called a special attraction. While Omos is allowed on both brands, he's not been used much on TV, with his appearance in the 2024 Men's Rumble match marking his first televised bout since SummerSlam 2023. Omos only had 2 PLE matches in 2023, those being SummerSlam and WrestleMania 39, and when speaking to SE Scoops, the Nigerian giant discussed WrestleMania and his absence from TV. To be honest, WrestleMania literally changed my life. I made my debut at WrestleMania in 2021. It holds a special place in my heart. You know, I'm an attraction. They call me when they need to make the big bucks. When they want to see me on TV, man, cash those checks when you see me on TV. Despite his limited presence on televised platforms, Omos emphasized his continued activity within WWE through live event appearances, making it clear he's committed to improving in the ring. It remains to be seen if this special attraction gets used on WWE TV in the future, but for now, it seems like WWE are in no hurry to use him outside of premium live events. When Mandy Rose was released from WWE, it was due to the explicit content being shared on her website, and that content has proven to be highly lucrative for the former NXT Women's Champion. Within less than a month following her release, Rose earned $1 million and has now spoken about the lengths one fan went for some extra exclusive photos and videos. Speaking on her fiance's Power Alphas podcast, Rose revealed that one fan paid $55,000 over a short period of time for content, and she described it as a wild amount for somebody to spend on her. It's been reported that the door is not closed on Rose returning to WWE, but given how much she's made with her site, do you think she'd choose to return to WWE? Let us know down below. In August 2023, Cash Wheeler was arrested following a warrant issued in July, and the FTR member would plead not guilty to the charge of aggravated assault with a firearm. During the initial arraignment, the prosecution described the July 2023 incident leading to Wheeler's arrest as a road rage incident, where Wheeler allegedly brandished a gun at another party. In an update, PW Insider reports that Wheeler will be back in court today for an arraignment before Orange County Court in Florida. A conviction for aggravated assault with a firearm under Florida law could result in up to 5 years imprisonment, 5 years probation, and a $5,000 fine, and will continue to follow his case for further updates. The lengthy feud between the Alpha Academy and the Viking Raiders continued on this week's Raw, as Chad Gable squared off against Ivar. The match was very good, as has been the case with their in-ring action as of late, with Gable fighting from underneath and absorbing everything his bigger, larger, more powerful opponent threw at him. Gable was able to mount a comeback, seizing on the opportunity presented by Ivar's missed moonsault, and a German suplex, moonsault of its own, and ankle lock scored Chad the win. Both guys often fly under the radar and are candidates for the most underrated superstar consideration, and we hope the return of Eric doesn't mark the end of Ivar's singles push. And that was this week's Raw, and what did you make of the go-home episode of the Red Brand before Elimination Chamber Perth? Let us know in the comments. And we're ending with Malakai Black, who didn't have any singles matches in 2023, with his most recent one-on-one bout in AEW being in June of 2022, in a move that has baffled fans of the Dutchman. This past week, though, Black finally had a singles match, albeit not in AEW, as the former Trios champion competed at the Dark Arts Gym, which he and Zelina Vega own. The main event of the Dark Prospects Ritual show saw Black face one of his students, and with Tony Schiavone on commentary, it was the AEW star who got the win with his Black Mass finisher. Malakai Black is presently engaged in a feud with Mark Briscoe alongside the House of Black, and only time will tell when, if ever, he gets another singles opportunity on AEW programming.